Este espacio es auspiciado también gracias a CTU Federal Academy, CTU Security, y quien les saluda, Tony Triago, acompañado como siempre con Damian Yates. Hi, Damian.
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Y Marcos Díaz, Marcos, que siempre está con nosotros en toda la parte de Facebook y él va a estar atento de los comentarios de ustedes. Marcos. Hello, Marcos. Can you hear me?
Sí, te escucho. Gracias. ¿Cómo están? ¿Qué tal?
Ok. El día de hoy vamos a estar hablando, la semana pasada nos quedamos haciendo una demostración de las pantallas de parte de entrenamiento. Queremos recordarles que CTU Security y CTU Federal Academy hacemos entrenamientos y tenemos una cantidad de herramientas para que los nuevos usuarios que han adquirido armas de fuego en los últimos días, para las personas que tienen armas de fuego y también para todos aquellos que quieran avanzar un poco más y ser un poco más precisos y saber en qué se pueden enfrentar, pues nosotros tenemos muchas herramientas. Primero que nada, tenemos las herramientas de la teoría, hacemos mucha teoría, hacemos todo lo que es defensa personal, cómo evitarlo, cómo desescalar las situaciones. También tenemos airsoft, que son pistolas y armamento de entrenamiento muy seguro, con el cual podemos prácticamente recrear situaciones reales y pasarlas a ustedes para que puedan saber cómo van a responder en una situación real. Tenemos también, como ven en la pantalla, y la semana pasada nos quedamos haciendo una demostración, por el tiempo se acabó, de unas pantallas virtuales, las cuales son muy seguras, no usan munición viva, pero te dan la habilidad y la destreza mucho más inclusive que si vas a un range a entrenar. Demian, I was talking about the last week that we stopped trying to show the screen, and I was talking also about the tools that we have in order to train the new owners, the new gun owners, and the existing ones. Because if you have a gun, the responsible way to carry is not only have the gun, also be trained, because you're going to be responsible for everything that you do or anything that happens when you carry the gun. So what we do is we train. We have, welcome back, Jason. I'm going to introduce you again. This is Jason. He's been with us since we started. And part of the tools and training that we offer, including iProtect USA, which is a company, a non-for-profit, but every Tuesday, Marcos, Damian, and myself, even if we are trainers and we have experience, we go to train with Jason because the reality on those situations and the training that we get, it helps us to be a better and more responsible carriers. Jason, I just want to talk also about the screen, but before we talk the screen, I want you to talk to the audience, tell them a little bit about iProtect USA and about yourself. Many people know you already, but please.
Okay, well, welcome everybody, and thank you guys for having me again. Obviously, we've all trained together, and we all have the same vibe. One of the cool things about what we're doing is we have not only a versatility in our training methods, but we have different training locations and different tools that we use to provide that training. I've been training with the gun for over 25 years. I've done defensive tactics instructor, close quarter combat, firearms instructor, long gun instructor, rifle, included in that, and shotgun. And ultimately, although you have the gun isn't the only answer. It's not the go-to all the time. The best example I can give to that is when you watch those that are martial arts combatants. They'll try to make every fight their fight. So in other words, if you have a ground fighter, he'll make every fight a ground fight. A boxer, he's going to try to manipulate the fight to where he can use his hands, and so on and so forth. You guys know the routine. You know, the culture here, especially here in America, we understand the combatives when it comes to the hands. One of the gaps that we've had is the gap between firearms and empty hand combatives. And what we're trying to do is fuse those things together without trying to make you a lifetime student, you know. And when you look at a lot of camps, that's what they end up doing. You know, just because it's their business model. You know, I'm not saying that they're trying to do any harm to you or trying to commit you to paying their mortgage. That's not what I'm saying. But there are a lot of things that you'll see when it comes to violence, where let's say bad guys or subjects on the street. These guys really aren't trained in any killing skills or hurting skills. It's just instinctive, it's intuitive. And what they do is when pressured, they resort to violence. And you'll see that anybody with a knife that starts to hack, stab, or slash is an expert. You know, although some of us, because of discipline, we go and we study the knife culture, the knife, the edge weapon as a tool, we end up, you know, sharpening those skill sets so that we're fluid, we're functional, we have control of the blade. But that still doesn't stop that blade from becoming a hacking tool when interjected into some type of violent confrontation. And, you know, all you got to do is go online and take a look at some of these videos and you'll see that. So what we're trying to do is, because we're not killers, we're not bad guys, we don't have bad intentions, is we're trying to harness this responsible defense position to where our training, our actions, our language, the culture, the planning, including before, during, and after event, what we're looking to do is to train to harness all these skills. That way, if we do have to act out, if we're forced to act out, it'll be a responsible defensive posture, a sensible defensive response to whatever the threat is. And a lot of you know that there are different levels, different threat levels. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that our people are responsible in employing and deploying tactics, techniques, strategies, weapons, and even de-escalation. You know, de-escalation is huge in what we do. And I think the coolest thing about what we're doing as a network is we get to cross these bounds and have this same objective, you know, and being responsible defenders. And I think that's what separates us, right, what separates our camp, what separates our network from everybody else.
Yes, and I just want to say thank you to Fran Bonilla, which is inviting me this afternoon as a guest on his own program. And we're talking about exactly what you're saying, de-escalation. Many of the events, and this is, I was talking about the new gun owners, existing ones, and people with experience. Sometimes because you're new, probably you're more dangerous, so you need to train. The ones that already have, probably they do training, but they don't do it all the time. So we are here so they can train with us and, you know, see if they can be a better. And the ones that they consider themselves experts, also is important that sometimes that's a human condition. When we know to do something and how to do it, we consider ourselves experts. Then we have overcome the expertise, and then we feel that we know everything. And that's when you make mistakes also. So always training, it doesn't have to be only because you're new with the gun. If you're an existing one or if you have a lot of experience, it's always too good to keep training. The reason why I bring that also, Jason, because you say something very important, is a gap between hands defense martial arts or just street fight and guns. But that gap, that we cover all that with Jason, CTU Federal Academy, and CTU Security that provides the equipment. So once we do that transition for self-defense, and then how to disarm, which is, Jason, we always learn a lot from you on that, because you're practicing with us all the time, those street fight, urban combatant. So it shows you how, even when you think that everything is lost because somebody is pointing at you with a gun, sometimes you have a second chance. If your life depends on that, training can make you overcome that situation. Is that right, Jason?
Sure, sure. You know, one of the cool examples that we integrate into the training is the race to the gun. So for example, bad guy, because he's cunning, because he has an objective to get close to you, he most likely he's going to get his weapon out before you do, whether that's an edge weapon, an improvised weapon, or a gun. And if your idea is to race to your handgun, which is holstered and concealed, most likely, he's probably going to beat you. And you're going to endure pain and suffering because he's going to deploy his weapon system, and you're trying to play catch up. So what we need to do is we need to try to neutralize his way to the gun first, or to the weapon, and work our way to our own. You know, and there's a system that we use and we integrate in that. The cool thing is when we have newer students come back who don't understand the race to the gun, or how this fluid action takes place, is, you know, introducing them to exercises where they'll be beaten on their own. You know, because it's one thing for me to tell you something or explain to you or show you a video, but it's another thing in real time to try to get your gun out, or to try to defend yourself appropriately, sensibly, legally, justified against an unknown, something that you were surprised by, you know. And right. The only way to try to close that gap when the element of surprise is presented to you is through training. You have to do the training.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's excellent. That's what we, as I'm gonna repeat it again, we have a lot of experience with guns, but we're going every Tuesday with I Protect USA to train ourselves in different situations with Jason, which is the instructor of the I Protect USA, and we keep training. Damian, can you put a little bit closer to the screen, and then while Marco's doing the translation a little bit to the Spanish audience, prepare everything. So we're gonna talk about the screen. Go ahead, Marcos.
I'm coming back, and I'm gonna do it very fast and quick, so we can, because we're running out of time already. Porque estábamos hablando del inglés y el español, y para hacerlo bien corto todo lo que hemos hablado, ahí podemos definir en tres diferentes formas de defensa: a través de las armas, a través de artes marciales, o a través de armas blancas, como los cuchillos, etc. Y quería añadir algo más, Tony, aparte de tener entrenamientos con todo esto, ya sea en armas, en defensa, sin armas o con armas blancas. Mucha gente piensa que los que tienen un arma de fuego ya llegan a pensar que es lo máximo, o que van por ahí disparando, o que se cruza alguien que no les cayó bien y ya sacan el arma y es disparar y con eso se soluciona el problema. No es así. Podría incluso decirte que es al revés. Cuando ya llegas a tener un arma y tienes entrenamiento con un arma de fuego, es mejor el no usarla, a no ser que temas peligro por tu vida. pero no es como otras personas piensan de que tiene un arma, le saca, disparas y ya se acabó el problema.
Interesante, porque justamente eso es lo que estábamos hablando esta tarde en el programa de Fran Bonilla, The Morning Show, que se transmite a través de Pangea FM. Les invito a que vean en la plataforma, porque hay mucha información para los nuevos usuarios que van a ver ahí. Ahora queremos hacerles una demostración de nuestra pantalla digital. Now we're going to do a demo about the digital screen that we use. Esta pantalla normalmente se usa para entrenar a agentes de policía, agentes de seguridad, y para todos los que usan concealed weapon, porque hay programas dedicados a eso, así como también pueden usarlo para entrenar no solamente sino marksmanship, competencia o competition. So this is used by the law enforcement, the security companies, and concealed people that wants to be better on the use of firearms. What Damian is going to show you right now, before you show everything, Damian, I'm going to tell them that one of the benefits of using this is because when you go to the range, cuando ustedes van a un campo de tiro, all the targets are statics. Todos los targets están estáticos. Ustedes van a gastar dinero en munición, tiempo, protectores, targets, etc. Cuando usan la pantalla, tienen algunos beneficios adicionales, como por ejemplo, podemos practicar desenfundar. We can practice unholster. I mean, we can practice draw your gun from conceal, from holster. We can add some dynamic training where you need to move in order to avoid that you being hit. We can get, we got around 890 different scenarios. We are lead free, so there's no chemicals in there. You can do practicing rapid fire, limited rounds, because you don't need to use live ammo. En otras palabras, ustedes pueden agregar muchas dinámicas, son escenarios donde van a estar moviéndose, donde ustedes pueden estar, practicar tiro rápido, ilimitadas municiones y un simulador de, un reality simulator, un simulador de realidad virtual. So, todo eso lo van a conseguir en CTU Federal Academy, and Damian is going to do demo right now. I know that it's, you can see a little bit far, but I encourage you to go to the CTU Federal Academy and ask for that training. You will see that it's an amazing training. It's going to be a lot of stress, and it's going to give you the real training that you're going to need in any situation, along with other trainings that we have as an airsoft. Dime, Marco.
Solo antes de que cambies el tema un poquito, quería añadir una cosa más. Mucha gente piensa que el dry fire no les va a ayudar, pero por como lo hemos visto nosotros mismos ahí en el CTU Federal Training Academy, ayuda bastante. Las mismas gente después de entrenar en dry fire con nosotros han ido a los range y el grouping de ellos ha sido mucho mejor.
Es correcto, porque what happens is you practice all the fundamentals, ustedes practican todos los fundamentos de tiro, y una vez que los practican, inclusive con movimiento, imagínense cuando van a un range que el target realmente está estático. Realmente ustedes van a tener mucha más precisión. Y eso es importante porque en un evento real, si tú no tienes esa precisión, if you don't have a precision when you're shooting marksmanship in a real situation, remember that everything that is behind your target, recuerden que todo lo que está detrás de su target, you can hit it, ustedes le pueden dar y pueden tener unas consecuencias a través de eso. Damian, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay, tell us what you're gonna do. We're gonna start with the marksmanship, right?
No, we're going to start with the time reduction. The reason I'm starting with time reduction because this is something that you can do at the range, but that you can't do at the range. You can draw your gun from a holster and deal with a target, which is something you're not allowed to do. Range behavior does not allow you to draw your gun at the range. If you do that, the range safety officer will call you out, and there's a chance they might tell you you have to leave and we can't return. So the first drill that you see is called time reduction. The thing about the time reduction is it gives you it gives you your count of take 5 shots, and it gives you a time. It times you on from drawing your weapon to taking your 5 shots on the target. So I'm going to give a quick demonstration. So as you see, that is my target.
The beauty of this is that this is a laser, it's very accurate, and it's going to give you also the set point where you hit it and give you the statistics.
So now, what it did was, let me bring this camera closer. As you can see, I had to take 5 shots. And then 5 shots gave me my time, that it took me 2.3 seconds to take 5 shots. And this system also gives you your hits.
You did that just right now, right?
I did this just right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to do another demonstration, same demonstration while I hold the phone so you can see how it works. So
okay.
Let's do it again. As you see, it makes you wait. Draw. So as you see, it took me 2.4 seconds to get off 5 shots. And then it gives me where I hit my shots at on the target. So I was outside the zone with 1, it took a point away from me. And that is my first demonstration. So go ahead, Tony, give them a rundown why I changed demonstrations.
Yes. Para los que nos están escuchando, to our listener, to our audience, right now he's doing a live demo of the virtual screen, and he's doing marksmanship. It gives you the timing, so you know you have the control how fast you are drawing your gun and shooting, and the accuracy that you're going to have.
Para decir que en español, Tony, este ejercicio que Dani se acaba de mostrar es para probar, para que tú mismo pruebes qué tan rápido está la velocidad. Te da dónde has disparado, dónde han impactado los proyectiles, y te dice el tiempo que has demorado en 5 disparos.
No, buenísimo. Y eso cuando tú lo llevas al range, esto que él mostró ahora, para la audiencia una vez más, for the audience, this is with a static target, like the one that you usually do on the range. But the difference right now is that Damian draw the gun and shot 5 times the target. So something that is very hard to find range that allows you to draw from conceal or for your holster if you are a security guard or police. So now you can practice in that. Go ahead, Marcos, please give the translation to the... Bueno, en otras palabras, go ahead.
Tony, estaba en el Facebook, revisando la gente del Facebook, no te puse mucho cuidado.
Oh, no te preocupes. Yo estaba explicando que lo que hizo Damian ahora demostró cómo desenfundar desde el arma oculta, impactar 5 tiros a un target estático, tal como lo hacen ustedes en el range. La diferencia es que en el range es muy difícil conseguir un range que te permita hacer desenfunde desde tu conceal y disparar, hacer un tiro rápido. Fueron 5 tiros y lo hizo con precisión. Now, Damian, what else are you going to do?
Well, right now, I've just transferred to the live situational training part of this training. So I'm going to do a concealed carry demonstration. We have a concealed carry scenario where you are the concealed carrier and you get put in a situation. And these situations give you the, how can I say, the awareness where you can build your awareness dealing with someone that is either threatening you to have when you're here for your life or something like that. So here we go.
Sí, ahora va a hacer una demostración con un escenario donde va a hacer un ejercicio de conceal. Tenemos un escenario. Él tiene que analizar la situación y determinar en qué momento sí o no va a usar el arma. y puede ver el resultado. La otra ventaja que tienen este tipo de escenario es que podemos revisar el tiempo de reacción de Demian y el tiempo de reacción del agresor y podemos ver si fue suficientemente rápido o no para responder a la amenaza. So, Demian, that I was telling that this one gives us the timing against a threat. So it measures how fast can you draw in a situation. Correct. And also we can review the result and see how accurate you were and if you shot faster than your threat.
Okay, so here's the demonstration. I'm getting ready to start the demonstration.
Ahí vamos a hacer otra demostración.
No, it's not for sale. I don't have it for sale.
Okay, está haciendo ahora la demostración ahora. Una vez más viene la amenaza. Todo esto lo estamos viendo en vivo ahorita. Y nuevamente se elimina la amenaza. Go ahead, explain what you did to the audience. Okay, remember, there are people that they're not looking at us right now. They're just listening.
Okay, now, what happened in that situation was, I had a guy outside at my vehicle. So, in the midst of me going outside, seeing him at my vehicle, he attempted to rob me by pulling a gun, as you see. So now, the thing about this, let me adjust this so we all can see. What it does, I can give myself a count.
So okay.
So now, as you see, the threat pulled the gun. So as you see, I took my first shot from a concealed position. And that was my first shot against this guy trying to rob me. So then again, I took a second shot. And as you can see, this point right here is where my second shot hit. Now, if I took a third shot, as you can see right here where the 2 is at, that was where my third shot. So these scenarios, they pose a threat. And you as the concealed carrier will have to defend yourself. You will have to defend yourself against these threats.
Tienen que defenderse en un escenario contra una amenaza y desenfundar lo más pronto posible antes de que la amenaza les ataque. Y de esta manera ustedes pueden ser más precisos. Esto es difícil hacerlo en un range normalmente porque, una vez más, los targets no tienen movimiento como lo estamos viendo aquí ahora en este momento, y donde Demian, los 3 tiros que hizo fueron bastante precisos. Les recomendamos que vayan a nuestro canal de YouTube de RDA Show. En los próximos días van a estar subiendo esto para las personas que no nos están viendo en este momento. Pueden revisarlo luego y ver de lo que estamos hablando con mayor precisión. Go ahead.
Tony, can I add something? Can I expand on some of what you're looking at?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so one of the things that I'd like to point out when it comes to training is, for the listeners and the viewers, remember that what we're doing is we're isolating certain elements of training through the projected image on the screen and the scenario that is unfolding. And so it's causing you to use judgment instead of just shooting at a paper target or steel. There's no judgment used there, really. You have to respond to a threat, whether it's armed or unarmed. Sometimes you'll see people freeze. You'll see elements of people overreact. You'll see people do things that they wouldn't necessarily predict that they were going to do. You'll see people who are drawing from their holsters catch a snag on their shirt. They won't be able to draw the weapon out. Remember that under pressure, your skill set is going to degrade. And so just in this controlled environment, you're in the air conditioner, you're around people that aren't going to hurt you, but now we're acting out scenarios that we have visualized in the past. So the function and efficiency of this tool is priceless. you know, outside of all the other things that Tony's mentioned. You know, I mean, you get to practice your posture, your stances. Maybe you'll discover that where you usually carry your gun, you don't want to carry it there anymore because of the snags, the inefficiency, the struggle that it takes to get your weapon out. That'll give you an opportunity to explore other draw positions or carry positions, you know, from your bag, from a book bag. All these things can be tested. The benefits for this type of training is going to reveal things that you wouldn't normally be able to practice or carry out on the gun range. And that's just isolated to a virtual training. That's just one of the many types of training that we offer. You know, when you come out to train with us on Tuesday, it'll be more dynamic, P2P, person to person. And, you know, the environment changes. So the things that you get to do on the range, you know how the gun's going to work. You know how it functions. You know the importance of having control of the gun, the responsibility of the firepower that's coming out of there. And then you go to do some virtual training at CTU, the Federal Academy. You're doing your training there, and now you can isolate the things you were struggling with on the gun range. And then you're going to have multiple coaches schooling you on some of the things you can do to improve with your jaw stroke, or maybe change that position. We're going to be able to drop that pressure down, that anxiety down. We'll bring that down for you, and we'll make you a more functional gun carrier, a better responsible gun carrier. And then you'll come out to Unlimited Tactical Solutions, where we're going to really pressure test what you think you're going to do. And then we're going to hit you with dynamic scenarios that are never the same, but it's a process. Any professional athlete, when you look at professional athletes, these guys are paid millions of dollars a year. And in the end, what you'll see is they went through a process as well. Their parents started to work them out with hand-eye coordination. And in time, they developed what sport they wanted to apply themselves to. They went and they played with Pee Wee. They grew up and they played some midline, maybe recreational ball or whatever. And then they went to high school and college and university. And now they're professional athletes. Those guys do strength and conditioning, stretching, nutrition. All these things come together. So that way on game day, when the moment of truth arrives, they are going to be able to respond sensibly and optimize. They know their skill set. They know their tools. They know how they're going to respond. And that's what we're doing here. That's what you're seeing here with the demonstrations today.
Correct.
Damien, can you do something like the church or any other scenario that involve a little bit of the police training or churches, securities?
Okay, go ahead, take it over. I'll come back and give me 2 minutes so I can set up a scenario.
Tony, really quick, while we're going through what we're going through all over the world with the COVID thing, did you see the Canadian mass shooting?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
You saw what's going on.
I didn't see the video, but that's a good point that you bring while Damien is fixing the screen for the next scenario.
Sure. So it looks like there were 18 that the gunman was able, himself.
Can you repeat? Can you repeat because your audio went off?
Okay, so it looks like there were 18 victims and 19 being the shooter as one of the 19 that died. So 18 plus 1.
Right.
And the reason I bring that out is because, guys, this doesn't stop. All you have to do is look at your local news and you'll see that violence continues through COVID, through Corona. It doesn't matter. These people, for whatever reason, they're out there, they're violent, and we need to be ready all the time. Who
stopped the shooter?
Those details are unclear. I've heard mixed. I don't want to prematurely or misinform the listeners and the viewers. So you can go online, do your own research. It's all there. And the reason I bring that up now is because we need to be ready. You're your first responder. You're going to be it. Everybody else is coming to help you. maybe with an injury or to evacuate, but you're going to have to deal with the problem yourself. You know, that's the beauty about this functional and efficient training.
Sí, lo que está diciendo Jason es que lo que pasó en Canadá, una persona se disfrazó de oficial de policía y atacó a la policía. Hubieron 18 víctimas, incluyéndose a él mismo. Aún no estamos muy claros cómo pasó todo, pero estamos tratando de averiguar, porque definitivamente en una situación, y las cosas están cambiando de tal manera que la seguridad en este momento es una necesidad. Pero la seguridad no es tener un arma, como mencionó Marco, sino saber utilizar el arma, y para eso están no solamente nosotros, hay Protect USA, CTU Federal Academy, CTU Security, hay ustedes con quien mejor ustedes se sientan para entrenar, pero háganlo. Porque tener un arma es solamente tener un martillo, pero eso no te hace carpintero, no te hace constructor. Es saber cómo utilizarlo. Entonces, cada día el mundo es un poco más peligroso, la pandemia, los ánimos se calientan y tenemos primero que aprender a desescalar las situaciones, y si es posible, siempre es mejor la mejor pelea es la que no se pelea. Entonces, si nosotros sabemos que puede haber y determinamos que puede haber un problema, lo mejor es irnos. No el hecho de que tengamos un arma nos hace inmortales indestructibles. Al contrario, si no la sabemos usar, nosotros podemos convertirnos en destructores y hacer más daño de lo que realmente consideramos, y luego tener un precio muy alto que pagar, porque las consecuencias de lo que tú hagas con el arma siempre se pagan. Yeah, are you ready, Damien?
Yes, I am.
Tony, antes de que continúen con el training, pregunta de un listener. Pregunta al aire, what are the requirements to do the training? Do you need to have a concealed weapon license?
No, you do not.
No, you do not. You don't need to have a concealed, because for real, you don't need a concealed to have a gun. But you need to train in order to have a gun. So the training, you can come, and something that I encourage the people, if you have a gun in your house, si ustedes tienen un arma en su casa y quieren entrenar, CTU Federal Academy pueden ir a hacer estos entrenamientos y pueden llevar a sus hijos para que vean, escuchen las partes legales, sobre todo si quieren hacer el permiso de arma oculta. Pueden llevarlos para que ellos sepan las consecuencias y la importancia de manipular un arma de fuego con responsabilidad. Entonces, a las esposas, a las novias, pueden ellos ir, ver, y que ellos sientan cuál es la responsabilidad, porque un arma en una casa no es una sola persona, sino que todos los que estén ahí sepan, tengan el respeto, conozcan el funcionamiento y sepan cuándo, dónde y por qué deben utilizarla. No de manera tal de que no porque lo que vean en la televisión y en las películas es una realidad de que entra alguien a tu casa y por eso le tienes que dar unos tiros. No, eso no es cierto. Es importantísimo a esta persona que nos está preguntando que pase, consulte con cualquiera de nuestros entrenadores y que entrene. Nosotros solamente somos una parte de que enseñamos toda la parte de lo que es legal, lo que es la parte de entrenamiento virtual y también todo lo que es teoría, etcétera. Pero con Protect USA, entonces todos esos conocimientos que ustedes tienen, vamos y los testeamos en un ambiente donde el estrés, usted lo va a sentir, va a ser lo más cercano a lo que usted puede encontrarse en una situación real. Damian, we are ready for you.
You ready? Okay, here we go.
Damian is going to do another training, another demo. Remember, we have 890 different scenarios. So you can practice. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, right now I'm putting us in a church setting.
Okay.
So this is a scenario where you will be church security. Now, as you see, you're in a church setting and you have somebody disrupt the setting and then he pulls out a weapon. What do? We all seen this before.
Yeah, in Texas it happens, and thanks to one of the guys, the shooter will stop it.
Yes, he was. Now, there are some ifs and buts with me on that situation, but this helps you in those situations with your awareness and time. These scenarios don't just have you shoot at a threat. These scenarios have a buildup where you have to notice the keys, what bring these threats to raise or fall. Because on this screen, everything does not become a threat. Some people don't have a weapon. Some of these scenarios have it where they put their hands up and they surrender. Some of these scenarios have it where they reach for something, but it's not a weapon. And
sí, eso, déjame decirle a la gente que está en español, let me tell to the Spanish listeners. Estos escenarios son dinámicos, de manera tal de que no siempre va a ser la amenaza, va a tener un arma o va a ser una amenaza mortal, donde usted tiene que sacar un arma. Estos escenarios le van a enseñar, como Jason lo mencionó, a discernir entre cuándo y dónde va a sacar el arma y si es una amenaza que amerita que usted saque un arma. Entonces eso es muy importante porque usted va desarrollando esa memoria muscular en el cerebro que le va a hacer tomar una decisión correcta en un momento, el momento que sea necesario. Entonces son bien dinámicos y no necesariamente muchas veces los escenarios aparentemente va a ser una amenaza y de repente se rinden. Usted tiene que saber diferenciar en eso. Go ahead, Damien.
So, like I was saying, some of these scenarios have somebody reach for something, and sometimes it's a phone, sometimes it's a brush. It's not always they reach for a weapon in these scenarios. So it helps you get shooter discretion. It helps you to identify whether this person is reaching for a weapon or not reaching for a weapon. And I can guarantee you from people who I have brought to the screen, they have mistakenly shot someone that wasn't a threat or was reaching for something, and by they didn't identify it, they shot this person who wasn't armed. And that's something big when you deal with law enforcement in certain situations, because you are hyped, you are amped up, and if you haven't seen these situations before, you will have those mistakes. And I've had someone have this happen on multiple occasions because their adrenaline is going, and this is just a screen, and they're so over ecstatic till they have shot someone and they were not a threat on this screen.
Yeah, es increíble. Lo que estamos hablando es que estos escenarios te enseñan a definir, a tener mayor juicio de la situación. Y hemos visto, hace unos días tenemos gente que va a entrenar de seguridad, personas que tienen armamentos, y hemos visto, porque la adrenalina, una pantalla virtual, que de paso quiero decir que esto es state of the art software, es un software de alto rendimiento que está hecho justamente para entrenar policías, agentes de seguridad y personas civiles a aprender a hacer este tipo de juicio. Y hemos visto que la adrenalina es tanta que se presenta porque tú necesitas crear esa diferencia que es prácticamente una milésima de segundo lo que te va a tomar decidir. Y hemos visto como en ocasiones la gente dispara antes de haber visto si era una amenaza real o no, porque te crea una adrenalina. Y es bien interesante ver como gente que nosotros creemos que pueden tomar un juicio ante una situación, a veces fallan. Es normal porque ¿qué es lo que pasa? Una vez más, cuando ustedes van a entrenar un range, y no tengo nada en contra de los range, es importantísimo porque ahí vas a sentir la munición real, el recoil y todo, pero la práctica del juicio lo van a hacer en realidad virtual. Y eso es lo que nosotros logramos. Luego lo llevamos a un escenario más real con I Protect USA, donde hay prácticamente enfrentamiento, y la penalidad obviamente es el dolor que vas a sentir. No es mucho, pero vas a sentir que fallaste y vas a saber que fallaste. Todos estos entrenamientos se conjugan y se entrelazan para hacerlo ustedes unos portadores de arma, en español no sé cómo se dice, pero les va a hacer más responsable al momento de tener un arma y tomar una decisión. Y como dijo Jason, muchas veces, o Marco, muchas veces después que ustedes piensen que tienen un arma, ustedes van a saber más cerca de una realidad de por qué y cuándo deben cargarla, o si son capaces de cargarla, porque hay mucha gente que es muy temperamental. Entonces todo esto empieza a crearte a ti una personalidad donde tú tienes un mejor balance de decisión al momento de llevar un arma.
Tony, can I just add something to that really quick?
Sure.
I just want to remind the listeners and the viewers that although this is virtual training, and then we have scenario-based training, and then we have marked munition training, we still do gun range training. That's part of the network. And so you'll be doing that too. The thing is that what we're seeing tonight is just one of the many training facets that we offer and the coaches that you'll be dealing with. So, don't make the mistake that this is all we do. We do range training, marked munition training, scenario-based training. We're going to be shooting in and out of cars. We're going to be shooting and dealing with home invasion and robbery. We're going to be doing with the close quarter combats. We're going to be dealing with edge weapons. We're going to be dealing with handcuffing. We're going to be the baton, the spray, everything's going to be available. We're just giving you a taste of how we understand the process of training and isolation.
Right.
And how all that's going to be brought together. So it's a process. And I just wanted to remind everybody that, we're all gun instructors as well.
Yeah, and that's something importante, que no solamente hacemos esto, sino que todas estas cosas se compilan, pero nosotros siendo entrenadores también hacemos tiro en los range y con munición viva. De hecho, en CTU Federal Academy tenemos un programa que se llama Counter Terrorist Unit y es avalado por las Naciones Unidas. Van módulos desde el civil hasta muy avanzado, donde enseñamos a ustedes en campo abierto a utilizar armas, a proteger a sus seres queridos, a buscar la manera de cómo comunicarse entre ellos para poderlos sacar de una situación real. Recuerden lo que dije, una situación se puede evitar no es solamente enfrentándola, muchas veces es evitándola. Entonces todo eso se aprende y lo aprendemos inclusive con armamento real, en un campo abierto, en un range cerrado. Es múltiples disciplinas, múltiples entrenamientos que van desde lo más sencillo, que es la parte teórica, hasta la parte, pasando por la parte virtual, pasando por entrenar con armas de entrenamiento y BBs que te dan, hasta llegar a la parte de armas de fuego. Dime, Marco.
Sorry que te cortas con el tiempo, ya estamos en hora.
Bueno, sí, amigos, una vez más, gracias a ustedes por estar todos los miércoles con nosotros. Les damos las gracias, damos gracias a CTU Federal Academy, I Protect USA, Pangea FM a través de sus plataformas digitales donde nos transmiten. Y una vez más quiero agradecer a Fran Bonilla en su programa de The Morning Show. Pueden verlo, ahí tengo una entrevista de 1 hora donde pueden escuchar un poquito más de algunas cosas que hablé hoy. Muchas gracias, les esperamos. Nuestro teléfono de RDA Show es 786-536646. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, nos vemos.
Goodbye, everybody. Stay responsible.
Guys, thanks for having me. Be good.